Okay, let's jump right into Genesis chapter 7 today. We're really getting into the thick of the flood narrative here.
Absolutely. It's where the action really starts, detailing the command, the entry into the ark, and the flood itself.
So it kicks off with the Lord speaking to Noah, telling him straight up, go into the ark, you and your whole family.
And right away, it gives the reason. It's because God says, I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation.
That phrase in this generation really stands out, doesn't it? It pins his righteousness to that specific context.
It does. It highlights him as, well, unique in his time, the basis for his and his family's survival.
And then the instructions for the animals get pretty specific. It's not just two of everything.
No, not at all. It's 7 pairs of every clean animal, male and female.
7 pairs, right? And then 2 pairs of the unclean animals.
Male and female for those two. And also 7 pairs of all the birds. Again, male and female.
And the stated goal is explicitly to keep their various kinds alive on the face of the earth. Preservation.
Exactly. And it's fascinating that clean and unclean pops up here, way before the formal law of Moses, maybe hinting at future needs like sacrifice.
Then there's the timing. God gives Noah a heads up.
Yeah.
Just 7 days.
Yeah, 7 days until the rain starts. And it's going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights.
The purpose being pretty stark. To wipe every living thing that God made off the face of the earth.
It's intense. And Noah's reaction, just simple obedience. Noah did all that the Lord commanded him.
That obedience is key. And it mentions his age, too. He was 600 years old when the floodwaters hit.
Right, a significant detail marking this specific moment in his long life.
So after those 7 days pass, the next step happens. Noah and his family enter the ark.
His sons, his wife, his sons' wives, specifically the text notes, to escape the waters of the flood.
And the animals. It's interesting how it's phrased. It doesn't sound like a big chaotic roundup.
No, it says the animals clean, unclean, birds, creeping things, they came to Noah.
Came to him.
Yeah, pairs, male and female, entering the ark just as God commanded. It suggests, divine guidance in the process.
Then we get this incredibly precise date. The 600th year of Noah's life, 2nd month, 17th day.
On that specific day.
It wasn't just rain starting. The text says, all the fountains of the great deep burst forth.
And the windows of the heavens were opened. So water from below and above, a double source.
A cosmic level event, it sounds like.
Definitely. And the rain itself, specifically from the heavens, fell for those 40 days and 40 nights.
And the text makes a point to reiterate who was actually in the ark on that day it started.
Yes, Noah, Shem, Ham, Japheth, Noah's wife, their 3 wives.
Along with all the animals, listed again by kind, wild livestock, creeping things, birds, everything with wings.
Pairs of all flesh with the breath of life. They went in, male and female, as God commanded.
And then comes this really striking short sentence.
Yeah.
And the Lord shut him in.
Ah, yes. That's huge. It wasn't Noah pulling the door shut. It was God sealing the ark. Protection, but also maybe finality.
So they're sealed in. The flood continues for 40 days. The water keeps rising.
It increases, lifts the ark way up off the earth.
And it doesn't just cover the land. It says the waters rose so high they covered all the high mountains under the entire heavens.
And it gives a measurement more than 20 feet above the mountaintops. It emphasizes totality, absolute coverage.
The consequences described in equally absolute terms. Every living thing moving on the earth died.
Birds, livestock, wild animals, swarming creatures, all humankind.
Everything on dry land that had the breath of life in its nostrils, gone.
Wiped out. The text is very clear. Utter destruction of terrestrial life.
Leaving only Noah and those with him inside the ark. Stark contrast.
Just them. Preservation amidst universal judgment.
But the 40 days of rain wasn't the end of the water's dominance, was it?
No, not at all. The text says the waters flooded or prevailed upon the earth for 150 days in total. That's a long time.
Wow. So this whole chapter, Genesis 7, it paints this picture of just immense scale. Precise instructions, total destruction, specific preservation.
It really does. A complete wiping out, side by side with survival, contained in this one vessel, all orchestrated according to the narrative.
So why do you think a story like this, with such specific details about judgment and commands and survival, still resonates so much today? What keeps drawing people back to it?
Well, it grapples with huge themes, right? Righteousness, judgment, obedience, destruction, hope, divine intervention. These are core human questions.
So maybe a final thought for you listening. As you reflect on Genesis 7, think about what this incredibly detailed account, this focus on Noah's character, God's commands, the scale of destruction, and the deliberate act of preservation. What does it suggest about how this text portrays righteousness and judgment? Something to really dig into.